Now, when Jesus had called his 12 disciples to himself, there were also gathered together with them some scribes and Pharisees. Now, these religious leaders, they were the religious elite of the day. They were the ones who studied the law, and they had all the answers, or so they thought. And they often, they got into debates with Jesus because they couldn't see eye to eye on many things. And verse 1, the Pharisees and scribes, they asked Jesus, they questioned him. They said, "Why do your disciples break the tradition of the elders? For they don't wash their hands when they eat food, which is the tradition of the elders." Now the background here, the context is that the Jewish people had this tradition that before you ate, you had to wash your hands. And it was a very ceremonial thing. It was a very ritualistic thing. And it was something that you did physically to show that you were clean, to show that you were pure. And so they were accusing the disciples of not being clean because they didn't go through this ritual. And Jesus, he basically says, you guys are so into the rituals and the traditions that you neglect the more important part of the law. And he uses an illustration. He talks about a cup. He talks about a plant, a fig, and then eating something that has fallen on the ground. He talks about how if the person eats that food, that it doesn't make that food unclean, and the person who eats it, it doesn't make them unclean. And he's showing them that it's not the physical act of eating that makes the food unclean or makes the person unclean. It's what's inside the person that is important. It's the person's heart. And that's why in verse 15, it says that Jesus said to them, "Everything that goes into a man's mouth proceeds from the mouth of God, for he is a man. Nothing is unclean in itself. But what goes into the mouth of a man is what comes out of his heart, and that is what makes a man unclean." So Jesus is saying that it's not this ritual that you do, it's not this tradition that you follow, it's the condition of your heart. What's going on inside of us is what really matters to God. And so Jesus says, you guys are so caught up in these traditions and these rituals that you've neglected the most important part, which is the heart. And that's what God desires, that we come to him with a pure heart, that we worship him with a pure heart, that we serve him with a pure heart. Well, I hope this helps you understand Matthew chapter 15, verse 15. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and remember, God loves you.